Puff and puff. Okay. Let's grab the tools out of the sink. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Pearl. Hey, Goliath. What's gonna do with these lights? Oh. Okay. It's a weird color, but it's done. All right, this arm, I think, is done. It's raw. There's a bare patch there. Nobody's going to notice or care. It is a lamentable addition to being out of shape, sadly. I don't know if it's the paste mix. I mean, it's dry as a bone. They've just got a color differential. Hey, Rachel, how's it going? For me, it's going all right. I'm looking at what we're doing with the big bad boy tonight here. This arm is hopefully done. Really, really hopefully. I have to throw it on the big boy there and have a look. Running. Now, running is not a thing I've done. Oh, right. Right. Thank you. I was a little bit delayed, dazed, and confused. This arm needs a tidbit more on this inner edge here, but otherwise it too is done. All right, so well, you gotta get your crud off the blender bits somehow. So I was soaking them all last night in the bowl. This has peeled up a little bit from the skull, which I do not like. That should be hard on the surface. The rest seems okay. I think we're going to do just a little glue down. Make sure this stuff physically cannot come back up. You know, like this one just wiggled on me. Okay. Who is wiggling? If you're wiggling, you need glue. You're wiggling. You need glue. And just because I have a fair amount of glue right now, it wouldn't hurt to just get a little in the crease. Make sure that jaw is impossibly locked. Let's get a little glue down there. Whew. A sleepy knee injury, that's not good. Dotted glue there too. And down here also. Oh, there's quite a few spaces on this skull, which is surprising. Normally they don't disadhere so much. Let's give that a little bit of weight compression. There we go. Give it some time. Okay. A little bit of a midnight mule kick, huh? Let's see. Oh. All right, the neck clay looks dry, but as we all know, that is up to interpretation. Let's give a slightly wider angle here. It's just going to have to be. Oh, there we go. Yep, neck clay looks dry, but it's a thick layer in there. So, also, when he's in storage, this is probably going to get scraped quite a bit. So, I'm probably not going to witch wood on the top of these stringers. I'll witch wood a little bit on here, but these guys will be good pads. He's also going to get scuffed here because he's already getting scuffed there. Don't mind it too much, but need to be aware. It looks like he's not breaking from being on that wood there. Yeah, he's doing well. Very, very well. We're going to witch wood the hell out of his throat. So this is all uniformly god-awful. And yeah, last night's cotton is a much darker shade than the previous stuff. I'm wondering if I had more flour, water, something in there caused the mix to be different. Strange. I'd love to leave them out all year too. Okay, so let's throw this arm sort of kind of on-ish. Okay, so that's pretty good. All right. At some point I got to drill in there. Once I drill it, then I can also take the stuff up as far as I can get on both sides. But that line is the match. I'm so tempted to drill it right now. But I also don't know what I'm going to use for a pin, so I can't go too nuts. And yeah, we need a lot more stuff in there. I really wish I could have him fully assembled. That way I could connect him with something there. As is, I can drape creepy cloth all around. And I'll probably have some creepy cloth in the rib cage too. But yeah, he's got to be disassemblable, sadly. Let's see how the other arm's going. This arm is a bit heavier. Okay. And this arm is fine. That is perfect. And then the last thing to consider is, do we shove mini pumpkins on him? Bulking bicep, wire and build a phantom musculature. If I was just going to bulk the bicep directly, what I would do is I would get some, like a pool noodle. I'd shave it down and I'd taper it, and then I'd affix it to it, and I'd mache over the pool noodle, and then I would probably take that and witchwood over, because witchwood is a wonderful effect, but in terms of buying lots of cotton, not everybody's willing to dump the $50 on 10 pounds of the stuff, or spend hours and hours and hours pulling apart cotton balls. So if you can get away with lighter amounts of it, good. If not, then yeah. All right. I do like having the mini pumpkins on there. I kind of like the idea of one there and another one somewhere else, maybe down there. Yeah, I kind of like down there. Maybe like right in the bottom of the ribs. Yeah, that's pretty sexy, actually. And the other arm, the other option is to attach them to the arms, but I don't think they quite match on the arms. Oof. Unfortunately, I cannot zoom the camera out far enough to really give a great view of the concepts. Trying to hold all this without it falling and breaking. And I don't think on the arms quite works, but on the shoulders, pretty nice. Down the bottom of the rib cage is nice. You know, we could almost tuck one in the armpit over here. Let's see if that works. I am also thinking that what I'll do is I'll do the mini pumpkins, and then I will attach them with Velcro so they can be pulled on and off with ease. Let's see if this arm can be mini pumpkined. One could work in there. If we've got one mini pumpkin, where the hell did the other one go? Here he is. One up here. Another one there. And then a third one here. That's a hell of a cool motif. Yeah. Kind of like that. But we still have to witchwood in there. Okay. Yep. Let's see the regular one. Yeah, that's not bad. It's a matter of which one goes where. Yep. The skull in hand. The skull's got some glue drying at the moment, so. Okay. One mini pumpkin will have to be built onto the arm. Probably this one. I'd like to see it with the skull. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering myself, Goliath. That glue should be mostly set by now. So if we have our skull there, and dude here. Ugh. It does block him a little bit. But it is the best mount position for him. Well, nothing's completely final yet. Yeah, but I wanted to make sure that, see, with baking soda and super glue, the baking soda catalyzes the chemical reaction and to a certain extent becomes part of the structure. And I want to make sure that I am not wasting glue on baking soda. And having it be a structure made of that rather than being all the other stuff. All right, so that arm's done. I'm going to start staining that tonight as a preliminary experiment. I want to give this maybe a little more time to dry. We need witchwood down here. Okay, let's grab all our stuff here. That's a possibility too, Goliath. That's very, very much a possibility. All right, so let's grab the stuff that needs witchwood, which is this arm and further down his spinal column. Let's mix up a batch. Don't need a huge amount of it. I just arm that. I probably ought to throw some witchwood on these guys too. So let's get going. Otherwise, I'll start hemming and hawing too much and I'll lose time. Not that time's a huge factor. It's all going. All right, let's plug this back in. I remember I unplugged it last time. I don't want tools left open during the night. Mute. And back on. Hey, Melissa, not doing too bad. Just getting ready for tonight's work. Most of it is just about done, which is phenomenal. And I'm going to have the joyous pleasure of staining one of my arms tonight. Getting a good old look at how it comes out. All right. So one arm, a bit on the bottom there. Don't need to go too overboard. Maybe I can work on the neck if I have extra bits left. Fluff, 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 fluff. Okay. Let's grab a wiping clump. Start with that. Orient on the project area. Fantastic. Tiny bit more. Okay. I store clay in the fridge. And same with paste. And if I'm really going through paste, I don't mind so much if it stays out for a day or two. I had one problem where I actually left some paste up here for 2 days and forgot about it. But if I'm going to have paste that I expect is going to be staying around for a while because I'm not hyper engaged in projectifying every single night, then I will add a lot of salt to it to help keep it free from bacteria and mold just a little bit longer. That's my general procedure for clay storage and paste storage too. Okay. That's coverage. Salt helps. I would never say salt works, but salt helps. It's entirely a matter of if you need a little something, salt will definitely help. Won't preserve you indefinitely, but it'll give you an extra couple of days. And it's cheap, so. Cool. All right, just enough to get that side coated and done. Back up. Oh, wait, no. Oh, may as well. Do I want to hit the neck now? No, but I'm gonna anyway. Oh, little mini pumpkins. Back to your temporary storage spot. Yep, there's a couple of oil. I mean, anything that inhibits bacterial growth will do a tolerably decent job in helping you out there. Hey, Madge. Good for a ball. The Facebook chat just went away. Ruh-roh. Yeah, that's gonna be a bear to paint. Right, looks like I'm gonna have to make some more of this. Shit. We'll start heavy up here. Hey, there we go. I guess it fixed itself, bro. Maybe it's because Rachel, who was in there, may have left and it disabled. And then when somebody else went in, it reactivated. Okay. That's just about there. Great. All right, close enough. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Pearl. Absolutely doodly. Yes, it certainly is, Melissa. The audience is wider and broader on the YouTubes. This front side should be a bit shallower and better. However, I'm almost out of which wood. I guess I needed a lot more than I thought I did. But I am laying it on very heavily, so. You know, I'll bet that's the reason why this stuff dried that color. I applied it really heavy last night too. It's probably the water and the rate it was leaving caused a bit of stain. Good enough for now. Let's get the arm done. Okay, buddy. Up you go. Let's grab another big wad of cotton. Make sure we don't hit the cat. Barely hit the top of that box. Wonderful. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, let's go further forward. A little more down. Good. Madge, welcome back. What are you doing for a face? How much do I need for the arm? Intersection. And a few pumpkins. Hey, Fuzzy Bear. Hi. Hello. Oh, hi. Wow. What are you doing? Good girl. Wow. Wow. Let's go a little nuts on that arm. Hello, fuzzy cat. All right. You dodged. You dodged my pets. How dare you? Sadly, I forgot to bring my tablet up. I was researching some royalty-free music to play. At least we'd have something. Even if it wasn't terribly great, it wouldn't be all that bad either. was listening to some of it. It's not too awful. Some of it's a little spooky and a little groovy. Or at least I'd like to experiment with it. That way I'll know if I still get flagged. If I still have to go through, oh, I have the license, see here. So if those TuneCore assholes are still looking for it. Grr. I still need to sue them at some point for harassment. Who has time? Okay. So this side here needs, quite frankly, a lot. Take care, Danielle. Thanks for hanging out with us. Big old chunks. Yeah, that's also become a big business. People are just going on flagging random things and hoping that nobody will counter it and then it'll stick. Which is a pretty scummy thing to do, as we know. Take care, Melissa. Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah, it's not Saturday night. Some folks got to work tomorrow. Even me. I'm just stoked that that witch orb is going to be printed pretty soon. Alright, how much more do we really feasibly need here? Saturday, Sunday, they all run together now. Yeah. It's going to be a nightmare to get stained into. All right, need to think a little bit down the road here so I don't make spots that piss me off and are impossible to get stained into. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Still have to do that step. Might want to make it not a nightmare. Okay. So flat on the hand is no big deal. And we should crisscross the bottom region. that should be plenty of angular goobers for this end. Yeah, that's coming together nicely. So now when it's facing here, they'll see that on the inside rather than having that side be rather flat and lackluster. Good. Not a standard goober. We want an angled goober. The goober isn't angled. You're just wasting your time. Angle your goobers, damn it. Okay. Let's grab a little bit for you. Yeah, it's coming there. So, yeah. Yeah. I think I can leave this here to dry for the moment. Oh, you got a. Oh, it's not a chip. Good. It's just an overrun. Alright, my little guy here. Yeah, that third orb did come out really well. Took for flip all ever. I'm so glad I got the 3D printer going. Underneath. Yeah, that's why I got the Sidewinder, so I could have the ability to print large stuff, as I knew that eventually I would want to. I would like to make myself a set of Gary Fay articulated fingers at some point. If I do a video on the 3D print orb, it will all be very much a fast motion, because I am by no means a 3D printing virtuoso. Just be kind of a, hey, by the way, you can do this. I haven't messed with that much, just because I figured any color I do on my prints are going to be from the paint, whatever paint job I give to them. Yep. Just gotta remember here to not sweat this too much at all. Madge, that sounds like you were just eating. No, you're probably grooming. That's grooming sounds. Yeah, hyperconnectivity is not a happy zone. That's fine for now. I don't want to overdo it. There we go, get stringy. Don't overthink it. This guy will probably be down in the rib cage. Okay. Take it flat for now. Close enough. Don't want to overdo it until I know what the heck he's going to be. Oh, safe spot. The other little guy already has some on him, and that's fine. Okay. Drawing spot for the big arm. How much do I... Ooh, I've got a fair bit left here. What needs... Well, nothing needs, but... Let's use up what's left. Track phone. Yay. Damn, I like the look on the back of his hand too. Evil devices. As long as my students aren't whipping them out every 10 seconds in class, I'm happy. However, most of them are whipping them out every 10 seconds in class. We're down to direct goobers. And that is it. Great. Okay. Nope, two more. Okay. Now it's empty. Let's get this claw over to a drying spot. Try to remember where there's stuff on it and where there isn't. Fall off. Now that I said that, it's gonna fall off. Okay. Time for a couple of things. first is get the flakes off the hands, mostly. Check the glue. Glue is set. Oh. No, glue is rubbery on the outside, but not fully set, which is okay. Because what I really need to do is clean the starch off of there. Yep, absolutely. To each their own. As long as it doesn't piss in anybody else's Cheerios. Mostly. Ah! Runaway bowl! Runaway bowl! Found a few spots of mache clinging the fur of my little fur ball together last night. Had to make sure she was in better shape. Not too much water. Actually, the bottom on that one probably needs more layers, but I'm done worrying about it, so. Right now, that thing is primed and ready for clay. Yeah, that guy's probably going to be whatever head I need for the next sentinel. I need to decide on a pose. Well, I don't really need to decide on a pose for the next sentinel. If I do a big scary face, it's going to be fine. Because also if I do a tutorial video, then I don't really want to be like, and here's how you make a pumpkin. I already have a tutorial for how to make the pumpkin. I don't really need more. That's all good, set, and done diddly on that now. These shop towels are a hell of a lot better than scout towels. Damn. I don't do demons, actually. Everything is witchwood beasts. You start doing demons, you start getting weird neighbors. You can go witchy, but also I don't really believe in hell, so even thematically, I don't like the concept of it. Yeah. Every year I look at the various Facebook Halloween groups, and it's always somebody with, oh, the neighbors got upset at my display. And you look at the display, and it's a giant, demon devil, 666 pentagrams, goats, and crap. Yes, they did. And you should have known better. Not that I'm trying to impinge your creative style or anything, but you should have expected that. I expected if I rig up some sort of hat that looks like a flower pot on my head, and I go to Walmart, people are going to be going, what the hell is that guy? I just expect it. Can't call them out going, oh, they're terrible people for not respecting my artistic sensibility. No, you're being a dumbass. That is surprisingly not sticking worth a fart. I may have to go downstairs and grab the Gorilla Glue. That stuff sticks. Probably should have got some when I was at Walmart, but hindsight, always 30/90. My evening skin treatment. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can do monsters. That's fine. We'll see. I kind of like to have all my stuff be very uniform. Everybody in my haunt has the same basic scare uniform, which is the burlap shroud. And the mask they wear, I don't really care. But everything's pretty uniform. Because, quite frankly, I can't stand haunts where one moment you're in the mad science lab, and then the next minute you're in the carnival, and then you're in the castle dungeon. It's like, what? I just transitioned 3 different genres in like 20 feet. And then I'm in the chainsaw slasher barn. Oh, God damn it. Stop mixing all your flavors. All right, I need to stop doing this or I'll be doing it the entire time. That is clean enough for a hit. Now let's grab a brush and some... Yeah, so I said I would stop doing it. Some special walnut. Right, cat? Stop picking the flaky bits. Special walnut. It's very special. Oh. Special walnut. Large froofy brush. I feel like taking this kind of slow just in case I make any screw ups or things aren't going the way I want. I want to be able to backpedal on this. If I use a giant brush, I may not be able to backpedal. Never do this to your stain. Unless it's from the dollar store like mine is. Actually, I can't remember if this is a dollar store one. I just remember last time, it wasn't very stainy. I don't like unstainy stains. All right, good. Time for a little color. Which would work your magic. You know, I'm going to go grab my smock. Occurred to me. Back in a second. Right, Fuzzbanger? Echo, turn on bedroom. Smock, 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 smock. Perfect. Well, if I can't have a player, then I will use the Amazon gizmo. Yep. Time for stain. At least on an arm. And one effacement. Fortunately, I don't think I'm going to have to backpedal. This is already looking beautiful. It's already standard Witchwood magic. Echo, play my music. Yeah. It's doing its job. Getting all the cracks and crannies. Leaving the tops. Sinking into the lows. Yep, pretty much. When you start off, it all kind of looks like just cotton snot, but then you hit it with the stain and it erupts. Let's see if we can get... Unfortunately, the lights are not cooperating with us. But making sure there's a rug under me. I have a hardwood floor, and I do not want the stain to go on that. If there's going to be a drip or a dribble, I can turn the $20 rug as brownish as it wants. Let's see here. PVC and paper mache, yes. Though the branchy twists are made of cotton and paper mache paste. So just like unraveled cotton ball, JLT. And it gives a very, very profoundly woodsy effect once all is said and done. In fact, I can twist up the camera a little bit. Yep. Works very, very well. I call the technique witchwood. Use it to make orbs, bottles, and this is probably one of the biggest projects I've ever done with it. On my YouTube channel, I have a whole bunch of tutorials on it, if you feel like it. Excellent. Me too. I have spent a lot of time perfecting my skills on it. Right now we're making a pumpkin sentinel, and this is the striking hand of that particular one. Me too. I usually get a whole bunch of the don't want to come up kids. It's odd because usually around here, at least, you get the ones that you think would be the screamer criers, like the 4-year-olds and whatnot. But typically, it's the really young ones for me that jump right up, walk up, get their candy, no problem. And it's the slightly older ones that are the I don't want to go, it's too scary types. Yeah, I've had them force their way to my door too. Always amusing. Sometimes they make it, sometimes they don't. We usually have to keep a cache of candy near the entrance just to make sure, in case they really can't come up, they still get their stuff. Bunch of spots aren't getting hit. All right. I got to make sure I don't spend 2.5 days trying to make sure each and every little spot on this guy gets tapped. If they're glaring spots, I'll hit them, but or they're visible spots, I should say. Awesome. I used to dream of doing a lot more skeletal stuff, but then I just started buying the $20, $35 skeletons. Give me a second, I'll show you the framework of this guy, JLT. There we go. Here's the boy that this one's going to go on. Yeah. They do get pricey. I've got one arm will be holding a skull, and that other arm is the one that you're watching me stain. Oh, yeah. Hey, Lucia, how's it going? And if you hear me talking to other people, JLT, I'm streaming to 3 different services simultaneously. Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I have watchers across the spectrum. I will probably just use spar urethane because he's probably going to sit on my wall in the living room most of the year, quite frankly. Put enough time on him that he should be out. Yes, YouTube is the bestest because there's the most people there. However, if I get enough people on Twitch, then I can start expanding the audience there too. You have to get like average of 3 viewers and a whole bunch of broadcast time. So, but profit is not the objective. Cool Halloween stuff is the objective. Yes, I do have Twitch, don't you? I broadcast all 3. Yeah, when most folks go to Twitch, they go for the gaming scene and not for the crafting. That's why I've kind of got the YouTube audience. But again, I don't really worry about getting viewers. I do, most of my stuff is tutorials. After I make something, I make a how-to guide on it. And those have been very successful on YouTube. Yep, it's all about reaching lots of audiences, Lucia. I will show everybody how to craft Halloween if they want to use my stuff. And if not, that's fine too. Well, once again, which wood is impressing the hell out of me. This guy's going to be friggin' gorgeous. I think I'm going to leave the upper part of the hand undone so I have a grab space. Because the other problem is I'm rolling the rolling the stuff in some dust, and that is not a great idea for stain. Won't hurt it, but it might mean I have to go back over it. So I don't want to try to get too much the whole thing done at once. Besides, I love doing this step, so the more reveal time I get with it, the happier I'll be. All right. Should be able to do some of the tips of the fingers. Or out towards the tips of the fingers, I should say. Oh, I absolutely will. As soon as that orb is finished printing, I will completely bring it. I am so friggin' stoked. You'll probably see it next time I stream, quite frankly, because there can't be more than 6 to 8 hours left on it. And it'll need painting as well, so fear not. The witch orb will absolutely be making a debut. 100%. Wondering if I should highlight the tips of the fingers with anything. Maybe I'll hit them with a just a UV reactive with a dry brush. Give them a feather dusting of flavor, as it were. I don't know if I'm going to hit them with a black light though, but still. Well, it's still a witch orb, so I'm going to try to make it woody, if at all possible. But it certainly opens the options with the witch orbs massively. Oh yeah, I agree with you, Lucia. This batch of witchwood really came out well. He's a very, very woodsy monster. We're going to stop him here, though, so I'm running out of areas to touch him. Oh, but that is a mighty wood arm. The next time we'll hit the back, and this arm will be scary set. This guy's going to be absolutely terrifying. Good Lord. I am kind of wondering that myself, Lynn. I'm probably going to have to prime it with something. Yeah. Yeah, I am absolutely thinking it's going to need a primer supremely, because there's going to be no way to get all that stuff to hold in there very well. All right, told myself I'm not going to nitpick. Yep. All right, where am I going to put this guy to dry? One of my drying space is occupied. I can move that stuff down. Okay. Give me a sec. I'm going to put this in a location. Then we'll get on to some other projects or some other stuff. We still have to stain the skull. It's a lot less unwieldy than I thought it was going to be, which is nice. Hello, cat. All right, that's in a drying spot. Man, I might go down to the basement and grab those other shelves. Who knew it could be so useful to have so many drying racks? And let me stuff that over here, spaces. Well, we got the old stain out. I may as well hit the... I don't know if I'll be able to dip the thing. We'll have to see. Alright. That piece is going to pop off. That's glued. Let's get the witchwood on the skull done. Okay, and let's get the bigger, well, yeah, I'm going to use that big brush for a little bit. Good. Good. Problem with witchwooding skulls, you don't want your runoff. Headphones back on. We'll shove this skull in our boy's outstretched claw. Throw the cabochons in his eyes, get it lit. I think I'll use a puck light for it. That way I'll be able to change it to whatever. Hey, Sarah, how's it going? I had that a couple of nights ago. But we're here for you. Oh. Sorry. Getting sniffly lately. A lot of the trees are starting to bud. Which honestly is quite nice. This has been like the winter that just wouldn't friggin' let go. We had grapple falling from the sky today. Or grapple, depending on how you pronounce it. So we're hot mud. You certainly can make small paper clay batches. Nothing wrong with that. Ah, I see what you're on. Do you know if that accelerated setting time is due to water loss or if it's due to a chemical reaction upon exposure to air? If it's water loss, it definitely still won't set in 15 minutes because you'll have watered it down inside the mache. Okay. And that's a rougher call to make. I'd be a little wary of it myself. If the container is set up to be extraordinarily airtight rather than just like keep moisture out, then it may be a chemical reaction. Just about ready to go to a detail brush here. Yeah, I mean, small batch sample it. Can never go wrong with a small batch sample. That way you'll know. Too many people avoid the small batch sample. Always small batch sample if you're curious. So, JLT, do you have any other streaming services? You on YouTube at all as well, or are you just Twitch only? If you're still here. Hey, Wargamer. Oh, bad for YouTube. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Yeah, Wargamer. We're back at it, better than ever. We got the pumpkin sentinel going. I got 3D printing going. We are armed for bear. It's going to be a hell of a monstrous time this year. I got another pumpkin ready to go for the next pumpkin sentinel. And I can't wait to get it assembled. Especially since I've got to go to Lowe's soon anyway to get all this stuff to fix my thing. Oh, man. Sucks, JLT. I hate when people steal content without at least crediting or at least asking. Doesn't take much to say, hey, do you mind? Uh-uh. Oh, jeez. Can't get around those buggers. Ah, gotcha. Only rights trouble I ever seem to have is with music. Oh, I'm talking to somebody on a different streaming service, Lucia. Oh, jeez. Damn. Yep. Good old Halloween ASMR time. So here's where we're getting with Which would? On the skull. Thinking about starting another account there, JLT? Or just going to let it go? I would love it if there were multiple Halloweens per year. But people have to get the timing right. I always see those posts that are like, we should skip Valentine's Day and have second Halloween instead. No, I do not want a Halloween in the middle of February. It'll be freezing. Oh, man. I didn't know they could lock your content, JLT, if you were on like a band thing. I had this channel for a while. I'm trying to remember when I started doing all the crazy crapola. Fortunately, the stuff is flowing under the witch wood. And not out under the skull, which is nice. Something to be said for having mildly loose connections. Not that anybody's going to be staring at it that intently. True, Glath. Actually, I wonder what would be a good time of the year for a second Halloween. If you were to have one, the problem is if you have one in April and it's early enough, all the trees are budding and everything's coming to life, which is hardly the motif. Or you need some other reason to get spooky. Yeah, kind of a once more with feeling version of Halloween. Everybody has Halloween practice night, and then everybody goes out and does it again. That is true. The candy bill would probably get a little obnoxious. Yeah. Since I got my own place, I've had to set aside a fair amount for candy. Last year we got way too much, though, which was good, because the year before we had too little. Need to start kind of dialing it in so we know exactly how much we need to get. I might set up a little camera just for that purpose alone, just to see how many trick-or-treaters we get. I don't really care about a scare cam or other stuff, or it won't be anything I post, just so I can go back through and be like, all right, we had this many trick-or-treaters this year. Welcome back, Sarah. I probably don't need to be being this careful, but I hate sloppy work. Lower jaw is going to need some glue anyway. Yeah, I thought about that briefly, but then I thought that's yet another job for me to do at the candy table. Apart from looking spooky, making spooky banter. I gotta see which voice changer setting I go with this next year. I hear you, JLT. You gotta have some other one. Vimeo might also work pretty well. There's some tolerably good stuff in communities over there. It's not quite as connected as some places, but I think Mixer also. But I think Mixer is a little bit even more game related rather than craft. See, I look spooky, so I have to have spooky banter. I'd really love to get my Black Oracle Tarot out. That way, if there's ever a set of a time when there's a bit of a lull and a single kid comes out, I can be like, pick a card. Virtually every single card in that thing looks horrible. This will be one of the few skulls I didn't put the eyes in first before witchwooding. Pardon. Somehow I don't think it's going to be very hard to get light into this skull. Those clear glass cabochons should make the internals much easier than the other ones. Honestly, I don't think so. Any skull that I've bothered to witchwood has always gotten an illuminated eye effect. As far as I'm concerned, if you have a skull with you need something to set it apart. Otherwise, you may as well just use the plastic skull without witchwooding at all. I could easily just throw a skull in the arm of the pumpkin sentinel, but the whole prop needs to be amazing. It's like being a house that only hands out Tootsie Rolls. Oh, boring. If you're going to do it, you do it right. Get that skull lit. At one point, I experimented with the like the super reflective spray paints. The problem is they only really work well if there's light directly applied to them. Any sideways incidental light just kind of doesn't do a damn thing. I also experimented with glass beads for light refraction, but they just don't work. The only other thing you really could do is you could put a couple of tiny mirrors in the eyes, but like I said, if you're going to do all that, you might as well just throw a light in there. There's too many cool lights. They're cheap, easy, and effective to not do it. I mean, those stupid puck lights are godly as far as I'm concerned. All right, nobody's going to see that little bit. Night, Lynn. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out with us. Oh, Beneath the Dark. I do love this soundtrack. I'm going to see if I can't make a playlist that's got some dark royalty-free stuff for us. If I don't remember my tablet, again. Perfect. Nice. All right. The big question will be, do we seal this skull all over the place with urethane or not? Probably ought to give him at least a single spray to keep him tolerably safe in case we get a damp evening, or even better yet, a mist. Or if one of these years I pony up and buy myself a haze machine. That's not bad. It's looking good. I'll save the lower jaw for a future painting session. I don't fancy trying to palm the back of his head while I paint the jaw. All right, let's do a nook and cranny search. There we go. Always nooks and crannies. Always nooks and crannies. All right, that's done. It's just not showing very well. Good. I'll seep. Nobody's going to see that. I can get that this time. Okay. Nook and cranny, second sweep. It's not really a nook and cranny, but I don't like the color of it. There we go. Okay. Good. We'll do his jaw next run through. There's another Witchwoody skull on its way. My ideal future technology right now would be a temporal desiccation chamber. Put the thing in, give it about 5 minutes, pull it out, dry as a bone. Why? Because when you take it at a time, it's been in there for 3 months on its end, but only 5 minutes on yours. What a lovely technology. Can't wait for it. Never going to get here, but still. That would definitely be my top of the line, most desired, impossible tech. All right, so I guess we're on to the big boy. So last pumpkin is just kind of a ragged grin. Come here. You can try over there. This pumpkin should probably be a little bit more wide-eyed murderous. Man, it still feels like there's moisture. Maybe it's just the temperature. I don't know. You don't like it. Okay. there's still some stain on there. How about you? Stain free. You can join the other brushes. You, though. How about now? You're mostly clean. It's just jammed in up at the top, which is what I'd expect. All right, you can join the other brushes. Right. Sharpie. This is the one. I want to put 2 more layers on the bottom, but I don't want to put 2 more layers on the bottom. Alright. So he's going to be staring down at some kids. There's his bottom. Gives us a mouth bottom about there. Stem. Alright. Have a good one, Sarah. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to grab a pencil so I can rough this before I screw it up with ink. Always one in the makes marks on things drawer. Excellent. All right, so our last guy is kind of ragged grin. This guy needs to be downright gleeful to be butchering trick-or-treaters. So we're going to need us a big old hateful smile. Some gigantic, cruel eyes. Horrible hook nose. Gotta make sure there's enough strength. my other guy, I kind of like that mix of flat teeth and sharp teeth. I want his mouth to be open a little wider, though. I may have to compromise on a smaller nose. You could always give him all witchwood teeth as well. Let's dip the mouth. Yeah, I kind of did that on the other one, so let's not worry about it. There. Have to widen that. Okay. The overall mouth is about an outline. There. I kind of like that swoop. Let's do it on this side too. Make him a little more jaw-like. All right. Whoop, sorry. Let's see, fangy tooths. Some flat, raggedy teeth. And some fangy teeth. I think that'll be sufficiently horrifying for a more in-your-face sentinel. Alright. Let's clay the last of the spider. And then any clay we've got left can go on to the big boy. We're going to paste the end of this one. Good. Yeah, I think this guy's going to be a lot of fun to do. Maybe we'll even try a little experimental claying with him too. I want to see if I can accentuate the ridge lines and do another no skin pumpkin variant. Shouldn't be hard to do. It'll just be time consuming. But thanks to the quarantine, all I have is time. Though pretty soon, this next week, I should have student work back. And I will have to dedicate at least a day to really, really intensive grading. Yeah, pretty much. Of course, that's reminding me I haven't seen Fallen in quite a while. That was stupid easy to get going. I forget how ridiculously simple these little mini pumpkins are. Yeah, I mean, considering that during the scope of a normal school year, I would be lucky if I was kind of just putting the head onto that pumpkin sentinel at this point. Whereas on now head, ribs, everything, I've been able to dedicate pretty much about 3 hours a day to doing this. Which normally you come home and you're tired, you know. I don't want to deal with anything. All you want is some sweet distraction. But now this is my distraction, so. It's really, really considerably better. If I was in better shape, I'd probably have a little bit more energy too. Get home, be like, yep, did that. Next thing. Boom, 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 boom. in a minute. Sculpt it down. All right. Not much left. Yeah. Be very amusing to do this for a living. Of course, then this would be the job. And I probably, though I'd like it, I like teaching too, so. I think the goal is to have that phantom independent source of income so that you can do things, but you're not locked into, I have to do this to survive and get the paycheck. But we all do what we must do. Because out there in the wilderness, there aren't animals going, it would be great if we just didn't have to go for food. Like cats. Do I need a sculpting tool? No, but where is it? Huh. Thought my other one was more face up. Majesty, is that you sneezing down there? This will just make it a little easier. Yeah, close enough. Yeah, but you only see me during the day when I'm actually doing this stuff. Otherwise, I'm a bit of a slug. You very much have a health problem that I am totally unaware of, though. All right, let's get this guy all set. I have my rounder here. Then we can slap the last of the clay onto the big boy and get him ready for his upcoming pumpkin sentinelization. Probably should have used my chip brush, but should give us a better result. Yeah, sometimes the tools are problematic. So let's fully blend. All right. Now let's take the grooves down. Okay. That little pumpkin spider experiment will dry up, and then we will get it ready to go. Throw some mandibles on it and give it some crazy legs. Okay, next. Big boy. Kind of feel like claying around the face. May as well do the stick trick while I've got it ready. Let's give ourselves some good layering and fortitude on them. Yike! That is going to be angst producing. Not that badly though, but so glad I use beach balls now. In the old days, this whole form would be fraught with weird angles and spots that didn't match up very well. And I'd be trying to shove paper clay down into wackadoodle curves that didn't really show up well in the final project anyway. And now we don't have to screw with that garbage anymore. We'll go till the paper clay is out, and then probably call it an evening, because I don't know what else can be worked on at that point. I'd love to stain that arm more, but wood stain is always devilishly misleading in its level of dryness. I think I'll bring the bucket upstairs, because tomorrow, or next time I decide to work on this guy, we're going to have a really big batch of paper clay. Come on. Blend, 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 blend. Hey, Joey. How's it going? Back up from the cut lines. Not bad. Joey, you keep pulling stuff out of me everywhere. What was it, yesterday? A box of paper products. Today we got what? Paintbrushes? Man. You're a one-man Swiss Army machine. I want that too far down because I want that tooth to be nice and crooked. I can taper for now. Swiss Army crafter. Yep, he's going to start to roll a lot more. Give this a hell of a coat. I don't usually do this thick. Where's that tooth end? Of course, I put the sculpting tools back over there. sweet potato lamb. Okay. That goes that way some more. And we can clear it all up in After Effects. Good. 12s and 30s will do you really, really well. They really take the time and stress out of doing the forms. Infinitely so. I probably ought to go back and redo some of my original pumpkin tutorial videos, come to think of it. Let's just borrow a bit there. Actually, that's why I'm doing the thickness. So when I put the grooves in, I can really groove the crap out of it. That's right, I remember. There was all a purpose to it. Sure. How are we doing for clay? Still a bit left. Man, this guy's gonna be solid as a brick. Alright, getting down. Aha! I knew it! You won't catch me. I'm too weird for you. Fantastic. Alright, down to the dregs. This should be the last splat. And may as well take it up under the eye ridge. Yeah. Well, what I'll probably do is I'll probably make a then and now kind of video. And then I will link it very heavily onto the original tutorials. Yeah, I'm trying to get all of the stuff very uniform on the surface because of the new kind of experimental way I'm doing pumpkins now. Because the skinning technique is still good, still works, it's fine, but presently what I really want to do is groove and line my pumpkins more. They arguably don't look as scary, but they look a little bit more pumpkin-like, kind of keep the old suspension of disbelief a little bit more active in the haunt patrons. All right, but that was the last blob, so we're going to blend, 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 blend. Anywhere that needs blending. Blend, 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 blend. Probably don't necessarily need to do this, but I really like to do this. All right, nice. Man, I smell that stain drying. Damn. Okay, man. Here. Okay. Yeah, no kidding. I don't think I've ever streamed this much. Well, ever. Used to be like maybe once or twice a week you'd see me. Now it's pretty much every day. Actually, twice a week would be a minor miracle. Yeah, I think "don't jinx it" is the the shared opinion of many. Thank the virus. Have you hugged your virus today? Don't. They'll kill you. Gotcha, little bugger. Really gotta watch his center of mass. Now that I've changed it considerably. Should handle most surface cracking, except for that. Alright, let's let the experiment in hyperrealism continue. My liner. There's the liner. I would like the liner to not be covered in crusties. Water. Come on. There. Okay. Get waxy. Okay. With the added thickness, we should be able to get some really deep grooves in this guy. I'll set up the ones to continue for next time. Okay. That should give us a monstrously more pumpkin-y textured pumpkin. Cool. All right. Center is about there. Okay. There's that. There's the chip brush, which I did not use, so I do not have to wash. But wow, this thing is not gonna. Kind of think about it, I probably ought to soak it again because it's still a little bit like iron. Oh, excellent. All right, so that's all set. Water on the rim. Paste is set. We witchwooded the skull. We got it painted. Start. Just looking for anything else to do. So skull's good. We got the bottom of that. We got more witchwood on the arms next session. The big guy needs more witchwood on the neck and more witchwood on the back of the spine. Then he's going to be pretty much ready to paint. Man, we are flying. And then we got this monstrosity here, so we're going to need a lot more paper clay. Yeah, pretty much everything's wet. We're out of clay. It's god damn it. Where's my augmented time chamber for rapid instant drying? Let's get all the witchwood balls together. I love that raw cotton. That stuff is so much less expensive. And these can go back. Anything else? We can throw out our experimental swatches because we don't need to know the colors of the witchwood anymore. We already chose them. Damn it. I guess I got nothing else to do now but go down and check on the 3D print. Son of a gun. All right, well, I'm going to have myself a quick swig of Naluka before I go. We shall toast all of your attendance. The folks on Twitch especially, thank you much. 5 viewers is a top rank for me. I know, Goliath. I will make clay tomorrow before the stream. I got the mixer right here, though. Mixer's there. Drill's there. We're good. Trying to think of what needs direct blasts of air tonight. Pretty much he's probably the most waterlogged thing. The rest is just witchwood, and that dries in the air without any kind of fan perfectly well. Salud. Thanks, DLT Works. Appreciate it. Otherwise, everybody else, thank you so very much for hanging out with me tonight and having a fantastic time. I toast you. Oh, that's delicious. And we will catch you, hopefully tomorrow, for some more Halloween insanity. I'm going to throw the fan on, clean up my stuff, and get ready for more shenanigans. But I'm going to go check on the 3D print and pray it's even closer to done, because when that thing, I'm going to be bouncing off the walls when that thing is all set. You'll all be able to see it tomorrow. It's going to be great. Thanks, guys. Take care. Have a fantastic evening, morning, whichever, whatever. Have a good one. Echo. Stop. Echo. Stop. Fantabulous. All right. Alright, we gotta work on the tripod spacing a bit. Maybe it's the clamp. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Echo, turn off craft light.